So, what's it like being here in Tampa?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's great to be able to get out, and Tampa's such a great place for us. Just so many wonderful Seminole fans, supporters. So to be able to get out and just kind of share the message of the things that have occurred. Obviously the continued steps of growth within the program, but also just a lot of excitement for what's ahead. There's been a lot of energy, throughout the booster stops and being on tour. But just really grateful for our fan base and all the wonderful supporters.
Kaylin Veeney signed down here after the draft as an undrafted free agent. Reports are so far he's doing well in camp. What does that kind of say about him?
Kaylin's a great football player, and obviously I was excited about the opportunity to keep him in the state of Florida. Down here with the Bucks. I mean, I think it's a really good fit. His athleticism, his length. I know there's some questions about just his overall size, but when you have the strength and speed that he has, you can overcome some of those things. And I'm just excited about his continued growth. But definitely expect great things about from him here at the next level.
What do you think Bucks fans should know about him?
I mean, he's a remarkable person, and when you have the passion, the care, the desire to make others around you better, I think that's one of the qualities that don't show up. When you're sitting there watching a combine or a pro day workout. Being around him for 4 years, I mean, he's got incredible passion, incredible heart. I've seen him grow so much over the last 4 years, and just to be the player that he was for us. And just the leader that he was, really because he, just how much that he cared about the program and his teammates, and he was willing to make the investment, even when it wasn't something that was advertised or broadcast. It was just him trying to make those around him better.
When we were up at Amelia Island, you were talking about this isn't a business of talent acquisition necessarily. It's building a team. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, ultimately, when you have a team, you have 120 guys that come together, all different paths, all different journeys, all different skill sets, and but for them to be able to become one, and to the relationships, the diversity in skill sets, how those complement each other, and how it all comes together to be able to go be the best team, because there's plenty of programs that have talent within it that might not find on the field success. Because there's it's just individual sparks of talent. For us, I love watching that talent come together to be able to build each other and to be able to support each other to have a very successful and comprehensive team.
You guys had a lot of continuity on the staff from last year to this year. With talent acquisition, how much do those maybe previous relationships and them all being there kind of help with that?
Well, I mean, I think when any time that you have continuity within a staff or within an organization, you see the benefits of that just when everybody knows what we're looking for, and you have the relationships, you have the experience, you have the things that you can rely on, that goes over the course of time. I mean, it helps verify anybody can come in and have an idea, but when you have that much experience and time that's been invested into a young man or recruit, I mean, you want to be able to eliminate potential mistakes, and there's when it goes into scouting, recruiting, those things are going to happen where you might think one thing, but it's a little bit different. But when you have that time and that investment, I think it's you could the accuracy and the certainty of who's coming in and what they're going to bring to the program is that much higher. And then from the perspective of the young men, I mean, they know who's there, who's going to coach them. The confidence that they can have of what it's going to look like and how they're going to be developed, how they're going to be cared for, how they're going to be how they're going to grow within the program is definitely something that I think is very valuable.
And speaking of recruiting, this next month very important. Just how important for the process is the summer?
Oh, I mean, it's huge, especially with the signing date moving up a few weeks. They're in December where they're not going to be December official visits. You have it's going to be a big push into summer officials. We will have some fall official visits during the season this year, but we will have a good number of guys, probably anywhere between 30 to probably 45 official visits, depending on how things all play out. But I'm excited about the guys we have coming in. I'm excited about where we are in the process. It's about being right, and that's where we go through. And obviously, as we're continuing to gain information, as we're continuing to showcase the vision and the plan that we have for these young men, it's still about finding that best fit.
Do you think it makes it harder with signing day moving up to conference championship week, having gone through it last year? Do you think it'll kind of be tough to navigate?
No, I mean, I think that it's not a drastic move. Obviously, there is, I like it for the fact of, one, the signing date is before the portal opens, and so it does allow the high school players, to, have a chance to be able to sign before there's, teams really know exactly what's going to happen, and so it does give a scholastic approach to the high school players. In today's age, there's some programs that are signing all transfers, and so I think this provides a good opportunity to be able to have that focus for those high school young men.
I asked you this last year. I'm going to ask it again because I'm curious if the answer has changed. Do you come in with a year thinking this is the balance of high school versus transfer recruits that I want? Or
no, I think because I think it can change. I mean, we have a sense of where our roster is. We have a sense of the the areas where we might be really experienced in one position, or we might have lost a lot of experience in one position that, hey, we might want to take a transfer here, or let's say we've got a lot of young guys that have played, that have grown, that have developed, that we feel are ready to take that next step. Well, maybe it's just continuing to reload in the high school ranks. So that's going to change. Each year. I think when you look at the last two, we've been about 65% high school signees and 35% transfers. But it has changed on what positions that we've gone after. And I think that will be something that's always kind of kind of an ebb and flow. Because once again, even in regards to who you're bringing in as a transfer, to going back to your earlier question about the team, it's the complementary pieces. And I always look back on Pat Payton is such a great example. It was freshman of the year and defensive player of the year as a freshman, and you have a Jared Verse who is a great complement for him, and somebody that came in and I think's really done some great things, and as you watch what Pat was able to do with Jared there at that position, it gave him somebody that's a little bit older, kind of somebody that they could play off of, and so I think you're always looking for what's going to be that right fit in that room, and we'll continue to evaluate that.
Why was Jalen Lucas the right fit for that room?
He was the right fit for our program. It wasn't necessarily just for the running back room, but you see he is a dynamic playmaker. And last year we had a couple of really good guys. Trey Benson, who was one of the most explosive running backs in the country, and home run hitting capability. And then also looking in the return game with we've been pretty remarkable in our return game. Keon last year was the Special Teams Player of the Year in the ACC, and so we wanted to make sure that we had that type of dynamic player, and we feel like we got some really good young ones that are gonna have an opportunity to grow and develop and compete for that. But when Jaylen, when that became a potential, he was definitely somebody that we sought after.
What about his kind of non-physical tools, the mentality?
He's got the right edge. He's you talk about the fit. he fits us. He's got great work ethic, great, very determined. He has an edge. And it's every day he brings that, and but he's very supportive of his teammates, very supportive of the guys that are going through the process with him. And I just think he's been for the last maybe 6 months of being here. he's just been incredible.
How cool is it to see him kind of with his brother, and how do you think that helps him and Ja'Kai?
Yeah, it's special. Those two, I think Ja'Kai has helped Jaylen transition in, just of understanding expectations, kind of even being able to explain the why rather than it just having to come from a coach. I mean, when you have that mentor that's here, and especially when it's family, it definitely accelerates the process. But excited for both those guys, and they're both very competitive, and they want to beat each other in everything that they're doing. So I think it's definitely a good push for Jakai and for Jaylen.
Is it difficult to adjust to a new quarterback that hasn't been here for your entire tenure, or what have you had to do differently with it not being a guy who was here from day one?
I mean, it's still, as you go through the off-season program, it's still about building, each player that's joined the program and working to put them in the best position to go, play to the best of their ability. And it's been a lot of fun with DJ, to seeing his investment, the work. He's picked up the offense and the things that we've asked him to do at a very rapid pace. And obviously it's exciting to see how that gels with everybody that we have, because each year will be different. And I think it's just part of the process. I've had to do it before within my coaching career as well, and but I'm excited about what DJ brings.
Maybe following up on that a little bit, I think it was the first year, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's the first year that you're not inheriting any players. Every player on the roster is you recruited or brought from the portal. You could be missing one or two there.
No, there's a few guys that have been here that from the beginning, but I mean for the last couple of years, everybody that's within the program, they've had to say yes, and so have we.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that has really been joyful to watch. Is like guys that were here prior to our arrival, at Florida State. I mean the buy-in, the approach, the just a belief in what we were asking them to do, where we were going, their ownership in that. It's every player is your player, because in today's age of college football, if they weren't, they would leave. And so it's like there's nothing that there are no holdovers. They all choose to be there, and we definitely are grateful for the opportunity we get to coach them.
We've obviously talked a lot in the past about the number of really good transfers that you brought in. But another thing that I think is interesting is you have a really high hit rate. Like, you don't bust a lot. What do you attribute that to?
I think a little bit of knowing what we're looking for.
Okay.
It kind of goes back to we're trying to build a team, and we want to be able to make sure that if there is a need in an area, or there's something that can come and make our football team better, and if it's coming from a transfer, you have to be right. I mean, you better dang sure have a great sense of confidence in it, because that's when you have the experience, when you have those guys. And on the flip side of it, you still look at guys. There's been so many transfers that we brought up that had multiple years, and they've it's something that I've really enjoyed watching, because these guys that have come in, yes, most of them have made a big impact in year one, but then you still see that steady growth in year two, and that's where it's fun to watch that on my end. But we have a pretty good sense of the why. Why is this young man the right fit for us? As we go through the accelerated recruiting process, just knowing that these guys know that they know what to expect when they walk in the door, and I think there's a lot of confidence on both ends.
You talked about that accelerated recruiting process. I know that you'll just adjust to whatever you're told to do, but is there anything you'd like to see change with the recruiting calendar? And I know there's been different proposals that have come up, but is there anything that would help you?
No, I mean, I think I like what's been done here in December. I think it's being able to move the signing day up. You do lose those official visit weekends in December, but with as many times as kids are getting on campus, it does put a bigger emphasis in the summer of time. But also you still have your in season official visits, which I think some kids really like to see the atmosphere, see the experience. And so I know there's some talk of going to another signing day. I'm not as big on the June signing date. Just I think there's just a lot of different dynamics that can tie into that, but we'll see where it goes. But I actually do like what was done, because you give the teams, you give the high school players, by having a signing day before the portal season opens, or the session opens. they have an opportunity to sign, and you could try to fill needs through the high school ranks of what you desire, and then obviously if there's some change in your own roster, you could work to replace that when the portal opens. And so I like that approach.
Evaluation also has a lot to do with that, obviously. How does that process even start, and then how does it change when it's accelerated for portal?
Well, I mean, that's the thing that, I'm going to kind of hit on why I also like the December signing date is that, this is a developmental game. And, you see so many players that, have great senior years that, and then sometimes you see players that get highly recruited, early in their career that, kind of plateau a little bit, in their last year for whatever reason. And, I think that the importance of that senior year is big, and I like that. I like still having the opportunity because, wherever the signing day is, it's going to be pushed forward. That's what's, I think you've seen that, throughout the years that wherever that is, there's going to be a majority of your class will probably sign on that first signing day. But I do like having that senior year as a kind of a metric of a part of where somebody's going. And so, when it comes to a transfer in a shortened window and time, I mean, obviously you have a better perspective from a collegiate, competitive aspect. And we've had some guys that weren't overly productive at their previous, institution, but you saw the things a little bit further along, in their career that might fit what you're trying to do. So it's just trying to get a sense of the young man, and then obviously ability. One more, or no more?
There's I know you're probably tired of talking about this, but there's a narrative that I've seen on different outlets that what happened in December is something that could motivate and really kind of create this bunker mentality within Florida State. And going forward, just kind of, hey, we're never going to let this happen again. We're going to leave no doubt. Do you think that exists with some of the guys that come back? Just okay, we'll show you this year.
I think our guys, they got an edge. They got an edge about all things that we do. But I mean, it's not about what happened. It's about what we're doing moving forward, and it's just about us going to get better. And it's not something that I use because control what you can control. And last year for 13 games we controlled what we could control. This year obviously there's new dynamics that are in place that you go and you take care of business and do control the things that are in front of you. You're not going to have that issue or situation present itself again. So just go get better. All good?
All right.
Sure.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Good to see you.
Great seeing y'all.